Welcome to this week's Harness Racing Alumni Show. I'm Freddie Hudson, and I'm here as always with Trade Martin and Bob Marks. This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is sponsored by Winbak Farm Canada's newest staffing, Captain's Quarters. The son of Captain Treacherous is standing his first season with a stud fee of $5,000 Canadian. For more information or to book a breeding, call 905-838-2145 or email stallions@winbackfarm.com. Captain's Quarters. Also, the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit playthemeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, breeding champions year after year. Visit huntertonfarm.com.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show with your hosts, Freddie Hudson and Trade Martin.
Joining us this week, we have Judy Bokman of the Standardbred Retirement Foundation and John Kraft, former driver, trainer, and owner, who is now the admin, I guess, for the Pocono Downs Facebook memorial page there, or social media
memories.
page, I should say. Memories.
Yeah, memories, yeah, we switched it.
Okay.
It's all about the memories.
So recently, John, you basically opened up a GoFundMe account for the Standardbred Retirement Foundation. Judy, I'm going to let you come in now.
Oh, we so appreciate that. You know, there's really no funding from harness racing. Occasionally,
True.
a track may do something, and we will have the proceeds. But to lean on anything, there is nothing. So we really appreciate that. Our donations come from individual people.
Okay. And Judy, that's it. All donations can be made at adoptahorse.org, correct?
Yes, and it's tax deductible.
Okay. Judy, now you've been doing this now for 37 years. Are programs that adopt horses out similar to the SRF, or are they the same, or what's the difference there?
Well, each one is very different, and I think that's a misunderstanding among people. So SRF is truly a charity, and other programs, the stipulations lean them away from being a charity. For instance, the other standardbred programs, they will only take a sound adoptable horse. That's it. If the horse is not adoptable, they will not take it. That's pressure. Yeah, because, you know, how many sound horses are done with racing? Generally, they're not racing any longer because they're not sound enough for that speed. So that leaves the majority of racehorses out in the cold. They need a place to go, and there is no place to go, which is where we step in, and that's why I say we're truly a charity, and we help a great many of these horses that went on from racing and were sold and have been working hard in the rural areas. And then when they're done, they have no place to go. And that's when the slaughter issue comes in, because 99% of them will ship to Canada or Mexico for slaughter. You know, we've been trying all these decades to get this whole picture changed, but we really haven't had any success. So there's a big push that these horses can go on and be great show horses. Well, the majority of people in this world are not looking for show horses. They're just looking for a nice horse, and this horse fits.
Right. Even just to have a pet in your backyard, if you have a proper facility, and you just want to love an animal, they're out there.
So we have. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Freddie.
No, a long time ago, I remember you told me that a lot of the horses that come in off the racetrack that you have all come in and they have fractured someplace. I think you said the fractures were in the hocks, if I remember correctly.
So a great many of these horses have suspensory issues. Mm-hmm. So the trainers and the rural community people clearly need to do a better job with keeping their suspensories healthy, because that's the number one issue we see in the horses that come in and need homes.
Compared to broken bones, for sure.
And, so we have a little over 500 horses. They're all standardbreds. And how we're different is that we only do standardbreds. So like new vocations, they do standardbreds and thoroughbreds. Mm-hmm. We're strictly standardbreds. And, in the industry, when people may support organizations helping horses, I think that's missed because I noticed that they'll help organizations that have all breeds. And you would think that you'd want to keep it close to home, to help your own industry, your own horses. We are the only organization that has standardbreds only, and we have a huge number of horses that we call sanctuary horses, even though they're all available for adoption, but they're passed over by adopters due to age or an injury or they're missing an eye or what have you. So on a daily basis, we're feeding 500 standardbreds. And year after year, it's a big bill. And year after year, we still have probably 400 that are in sanctuary. There's no other organization anywhere in this country that is feeding that many horses that are considered sanctuary horses.
Wow.
It's a hard thing to fund. It's a very hard thing to fund. Yep, we need help to do this.
Also, how many states are you located in now? I know you're in New Jersey, Kentucky, Virginia, New Jersey, New York, Maryland. Yeah. Okay. So what other states are you in? Pennsylvania.
So we have horses for adoption also in Pennsylvania, Oklahoma, New York, and North Carolina.
Wow.
So wherever you are, if you need a standardbred, that's not a problem.
Well, Judy, truly, you're a saint, and I'm telling you, you have a free pass to heaven. You are truly a saint, and what you do, it's amazing. 37 years, wow.
I know. Wow. I would think by now that things would be better. But, we're right back from day one. We're just constantly begging for help.
And now I see that.
Judy, tell us a little bit about some of your winners that you've had.
Oh, my goodness. I was looking at that the other day. We have, if you remember East Side Eddie, he made a ton of money.
Well, you had the one from Ron Burke you had over there. That was a top horse, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we've had several that come through that made a lot of money. I'm trying to think, and I'm getting caught here, but.
Hey, I also have another question for you. This one made the news. I guess about a week ago. A standardbred police horse in New York City. By any chance, was that the Genius from the Ben Cow and Gorals that you adopted out that chased down the first burglar on the cameras and caught the first burglar in New York City?
Yeah, well, that's his. Yeah, that was great. It was his stablemate.
Boy.
Yeah, it was a horse that we actually took off the slaughter line in Pennsylvania, and the police. The police have him for I think 6 years. Oh, what a fabulous horse. He's just so calm, and the police say he's such a mush. But, you know, when you need him to step up, that horse is there. Absolutely there. I'd love to share more about the police if you have time on another show, because they're so suitable for that job. And we have a lot of them with the police around the country.
Don't you have a bunch that are going to be in for the World Cup still?
Yes, so New Jersey State Police, excuse me, they have about 8 of ours, and they will be at the World Cup. Yes, doing their job. Proud.
And the next event that you have coming up is your golf outing. Tell us a little bit about that. Where's that going to be held at? And
okay, so that's at a private club. Excuse me. That's a private club in Meadowlands, New Jersey, which is near Gateway Farm. We've been doing it there for many years. The golfers love that golf course. It is the day after Memorial Day, which is May 26th, and we invite everybody to come golf. The only way you get to play in a private club is if somebody is hosting something or you know someone who's a member. Right. So it's a great opportunity, and it feeds our horses. So we'd love to have anyone and everyone to join us. And then it's followed by, we're doing a summer, we do like a kickoff to summer, which is a cocktails and dinner event that follows golf the same night at the same club. And that's open to everyone as well. And that's all on our website at adoptahorse.org.
Okay. What's the name of that golf course? I'm sorry to interrupt. What's the name of that golf course?
It's Battleground Country Club.
Battleground Country Club.
Country Club, yeah. So, you know, we would love sponsors, golfers, people to join us for cocktails and dinner. And it's all on the website at adoptahorse.org, or, you know, just call us directly. We'll get you set up.
Sure. Okay. And Judy, the other thing, you know, we still have in the works, you know, to do another Roosevelt Raceway reunion.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, so we just have to figure out the date and how to pull that off. You know, originally we were going to do it in December, then December became January, then we pushed it off to March. So we have to put it back on the table. And I know that this is a funny story because I was talking with Joe Rico, and so Joe Rico was thinking like, oh, if we do the Roosevelt Raceway reunion, you know, I'll sponsor the open bar or something to that effect. And then he thinks for a second. He says, wait, I got to back up on that one. He says, I can't do an open bar for a bunch of horsemen. He says, I'll go broke.
Yep.
We'll have to start a fundraiser just for that.
Exactly. And we should get it going before the winter, while people are still up north.
Yeah. Well, you were talking about you spoke with the Meadowlands on doing this already, and there was something about how do they do the open bar or the cash bar now? It's a lot different than it was previously. They won't do a cash bar or something to that effect?
Yeah, you know, it doesn't seem to work out very well. It's a little pricey for our guests, so we're going to have to figure out what to do. It would be nice to hear from people who think they'll be coming, so we can get an idea, and we could put it wherever, you know, we see most of our guests are going to be. I mean, it certainly could be at a different racetrack, or it could be at a restaurant.
Right. Mm-hmm. The first one we did at the Landmark. They did an excellent job. I mean, they really went out first class on that.
Yeah, they did a great job, and it was very well attended.
Are they still in business?
Last I heard, but I have to check. Yeah. Yeah.
They're very reasonable price-wise also.
Yeah, we could all have those yellow bracelets that, you know, back in the day went out all night. We came into work still wearing those yellow bracelets. You remember them days?
Yeah.
A long time ago.
Hey, John, I'm going to switch over to you now. Tell us a little bit about your Pocono Downs Facebook site and some of the projects that you're working on.
Oh, sure. Absolutely. First of all, thank you very much. This is a wonderful thing, and I feel very blessed and honored. So what happened was about a year and a half ago, I was asked to join the admin team at the Pocono Downs Memories Facebook page, and I really, really considered it more than a blessing. I was really taken aback. I mean, what Pocono Downs meant to me and my backstretch families just meant so much to me. It was so many good memories. So I signed on to this, and I started, posting some stories and then this and that and the other thing. But what really took off was January 1st, I decided to do a little piece on very well-known harness driver Mark King. He was, a regular at Pocono Downs, and I just posted one picture of him. And the outpour of love that came in from this one post about Mark King was unbelievable. Thousands of people responded. And I was like, wow, this is, I think I'm onto something here. So what I did was I created a once-a-month thing. I titled it Spotlight on the Superstars. And for February 1st, Hervé Fillion's birthday, I decided to do a piece on him. And I did a lot of research on Hervé. I thought I knew a lot about Hervé until I did a lot of research. I mean, I called race secretaries. I looked stuff up. I was blown away by what this man accomplished. And I put this story together, and it blew up like wildfire. Within a few days, it hit 787,000 insights, likes, shares, comments, all that stuff. All beautiful stories except for like two people, which out of 787,000, you had to have two buttheads in there. But that took off like crazy. So I said, you know what? I'm really onto something. Going to do it again the next month. Next month I did a feature on Bill Lambertus. And once again, it's incredible. It just really took off. So now I'm getting into this more and more, where it occupies a lot of time, and part of my home office is now filled with binders and books and notes. So that month I did a special. I made it like kind of like an event, like a race of the top Pocono guys, which was Greg Wozliak, Bill Mullen, Steve Salerno, Norton Shoemaker, and I made it like a contest, like a race, and did a lot of research on all of those people, and actually had a winner of that one was Greg Wozliak. By far and away, was just unbelievable. Amazing career. So he won that spotlight. But you know what? In my world, everybody's a winner. If you backtrack and look at it, you'll see the stats. And Greg won just by a couple of races. Just beat out Norton by like 5 races. And that was the year Norton Shoemaker had Buck Newton, competed in the Hamiltonian. There's bragging rights there. That took off too. That hit thousands and thousands. And for this past month, I gave it a little twist. I said, okay, let's do like father-son, mother-daughter, father-daughter, and so on. Family related. And I had to split it into 2 divisions, actually. I had to make it Division 1 was Pocono Downs, people that raced in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, primarily based at Pocono. And I did featured a lot of people. And Division 2 was nationwide, so Chicago, Philly, everywhere. So I wound up doing about 30 stories, and wow. It's still going on. It was supposed to be a one-day event. It's still going on. I'm still not done with it. So that I tallied it up. Are you ready for this? 1,760,692 insights, whatever the hell insights are. I think it's clicks, likes, shares, hearts, stars, green clovers, all that. So I'm at 1.7 million. So I think I'm bigger than Hoofbeats magazine right now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the outpour of love and kindness. A couple of people are haters, not many. I would say less than a dozen out of the 1.7 million. Just incredible stories. People finding friends that they haven't seen in so long. I've even had somebody personal message me. They didn't want their names out there. Mother, two sisters, and a brother. They reunited after almost 40 years because of the Pocono Downs Memories Facebook page. And I'm starting to tear up just saying that. I mean, this is what this did. It brought people together. Like, I just can't believe it.
Wow.
I just cannot believe it. It's great. And we're going strong. I have one story for next month, which I told Freddie. It's titled Meeting Chappie. And we'll leave it at that. I think we can figure it out from there.
I assume Chappie's John Chapman.
You assume correctly.
you know, I'm probably one of the last people that saw Chappie alive, and it occurred over. It occurred over at Roosevelt Fires, and I was in the paddock judge's office, and Chappie was pulling his horse up, and I mean, his horse was just really grabbing into him, and feeling like little problems pulling him up, and he did pull him up. And so I was leaving the paddock, the judge's booth, and I walked into, Chappie coming into the door there, and he just looked at me, he's all pale white, and he said, "Freddie, that one really got me." And, I didn't think too much of it. And so, I left, and then boom, he died that afternoon with a heart attack.
Right. Well, he had Kasicki, which was lung disease from animal dander, believe it or not. So he had a couple things going on.
Hey, John, you also had a horse called Abel Baker. You did pretty well with him. You want to tell us a little story about him?
Yeah. Wow, Abel Baker. So this is going to lead into a sad story about how people like Judy, the saint, could have rescued the horse like this. So I had this horse, Abel Baker, did very well with him, picked him up at the end of his 3-year-old career. And he was just the sweetest horse. Everybody loved him. He just, all around, great to be around. So sound as could be, up to a certain point. So I raced this horse primarily at Pocono and Roosevelt, Yonkers, Garden State also. But in a 3-year span, this horse raced in 1984 41 times, 1985 34 times, 1986 43 times. So he had 123 starts, first, second, and third, 81 out of the 123 starts. I mean, you just could not cross him off the triple if you were handicapped. He was always right there, even when he didn't figure. Got the 8-hole on the rail opens up and crawled up to third. But everybody loved this horse. He was so good. Race secretary loved him too, because a lot of times he would be in the open on a Saturday, and then race secretary would be calling for a horse for Wednesday, and he would say, "Look, I'll rewrite the race, eligible at time of entry." So sometimes I race him twice a week. But well, what happened was he had a bone chip, sesamoid. Every now and then it would act up. It was just this tiny little size of a pebble, but it had a couple of sharp edges. Every now and then it would turn around and irritate the tendon and everything. Got to a point where he was pretty much done. And famous Dr. S over at Pocono Downs, good friend of mine, we x-rayed him up and down, and I was like, Doc, look, I got nothing to lose here. Let's just slice him open, remove that chip, and, file the part of the bone away and stitch it back up. I got nothing to lose, nothing at all. And he puts his arm around me. He says, John, he's done. So even then, I took him to Pennsylvania. What was that?
New Bolton.
That place. Yeah, New Bolton. Took him there, and same thing. They x-rayed him every which way, and, there was a lot of students there. I'm like, look, do you want to practice with him? Do you want to try something? Same thing. They put their arm around me, and they said, he's done. So I took him back home, and I found him a home. Here's where it gets crazy. This guy said, oh yeah, I have a place in my backyard. We can put him up there. I said, okay, it's nice and flat. You got some shade. It's, fenced in. It's okay. You got some grass. You can run. Yeah. So gave him the horse for free, and waited about, 6-7 months, and wanted to go visit him. So go to his house, and I'm climbing up this mountain. And if you ever walked around mountains in Pennsylvania, you'll know what I'm talking about. All that shale, all the water washing all the soil away, walking on slippery rock. And I see the horse. He's penned in like a 30 by 40, tied up by rope and dead trees, no water, emancipated, starving, no shade, on a hill. And I was like, are you kidding me? I can't believe it. You told me this, that, and the other thing, and I'm sending you bales of hay, and I look in the truck, there's the stale bales of hay. I'm like, you didn't even give it to him? I was just blown away. So I came back the next day, wormed him, fed him, brushed him, gave him a bath, all that stuff. Actually took a saw and sawed off about 7 inches a foot. And then not much of a blacksmith, but I borrowed a rasp and managed to rasp his feet a little bit, and also my knees because I didn't have the right equipment. But so I went back about a week later, and he was just laying there, and he was dying. So I told the guy, I said, look, I'm going to come back tomorrow with Dr. S, and, we're going to have to put him down. He's too far gone. So me and Dr. S were walking up that shale mountain, and we hear a gunshot. And it's Pennsylvania, you hear gunshots. There's nothing out of the ordinary. A couple of seconds later, I hear another gunshot. And now I'm smelling gunpowder. So now we get up to the top, and he shot the horse in the head. I said, what the hell did you do? He said, well, I shot him the first time, but it didn't take, so I had to shoot him a second time.
You God.
I really should have taken that gun and
shot him.
Beat that guy. I should have beat him with it. That horse did not deserve
John,
it. And he was only 7 years old. He had life left in him.
This is what goes on. This is why we do a thorough screening of everyone that adopts a horse, and we require for life that a vet see the horse twice a year until the horse lived his life, so that we know his entire life is safe. And people don't know to do that. You just don't. You just think people are good people. But no, not everybody is a good person, and not everybody knows what they're supposed to do. And that's why we never cut our horses loose to anyone. That's how we're all so different. That horse, we do everything we can to protect it until its last day. And unfortunately, most programs and most people don't know how necessary that is. I mean, it's not your fault. It's human race. It's people. Not a shame.
Well, unfortunately, I do take, some blame because it shouldn't have happened. And I'll tell you what, to this day, I still dream about it and have nightmares about it, that it shouldn't have happened. It should not have happened.
Oh, what a bad person that person was. Bad person.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, you know what? You have to take a lesson from it. You just take a lesson from it.
I sure hope there's a lot of people out there listening to the story and listening to you. And once again, Judy, you are a saint, and you got that free pass to heaven. God bless you.
Oh, that's very sweet, but that's...
Yep. One of the other things we're going to talk about a little bit here, this will be the last topic, is, the SAFE Act. We've been trying to get that put through, I think I've been working on it since 2012. Every year it comes up with a new Congress. This year we tried to get it into the Farm Bill, and it made it to the Rules Committee, where the Rules Committee, if they would put it, they could have moved it to the floor for a vote, which they did not do. There is some work to put some pressure on the Rules Committee to put it out there at this particular point, but it does not. It doesn't look that good at this particular point for this year. So,
well, how can we help you to get this rolling again?
Well, it'll come up for the next Congress, but we can still just try and push on this and just telephone calls to your congressman or directly to the Rules Committee people. And basically try and put some pressure on them to move it along.
Okay.
Congress.
And I will say, lobbying in Washington D.C., the only other people from the horse industry that are lobbying for the SAFE Act, and I'm talking about the racing industry, would be the Jockey Club. They have Sean Sneely that they use. And Sean does work for them over there trying to get this SAFE Act put through, but he also works on other projects with them too.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
And my last trip over to DC, I was on crutches. So
oh gosh.
But I think we've covered enough ground on the show that I'm going to close the show out. And again, anyone who wishes to donate to Judy's organization, the Standardbred Retirement Foundation, it's adoptahorse.org.
Or through John's GoFundMe. And thank you again, John.
Yeah. No, you're very welcome. I just have to figure out how to set that up a little better.
Well, you know what? Sharing it on the social media is always very helpful. So, Freddie, thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome,
John.
Judy. It's always a pleasure to have you.
Thank you. And thank you again,
Judy.
John.
No, you're very welcome. Very welcome. Nice talking to a true saint.
Oh my gosh, you're too much.
But Mother Judy now. Mother Judy.
Mother Judy. No, gosh, no.
This week's Harness Racing Alumni Show is sponsored by Winbak Farm Canada's newest staffing, Captain's Quarters. The son of Captain Treacherous is standing his first season with a stud fee of $5,000 Canadian. For more information or to book a breeding, call 905-838-2145 or email stallions@winbackfarm.com. Captain's Quarters. Also, the Meadowlands Racetrack. Visit playthemeadowlands.com. And Hunterton Farm, breeding champions year after year. Visit huntertonfarm.com. That's a wrap for this week's show. Thanks for listening, and please join us again next week.
The Harness Racing Alumni Show